Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Test Automation Brigade meeting. And today is February 6, 2020. And that reminds me that this is incorrect. Just a reminder for everyone that this meeting is public and will be recorded and posted to YouTube. So with that, let's go over our regular agenda items. Yeah, the first one on the list, as usual, is our status and updates on the tickets. So let me bring up Jira here. Okay. Does anyone want to volunteer to go first, Infosys or Atran?
Yeah, hi Sujitra.
Hi.
Yeah, so we are working on that data plan scenario. Suraj started with 2054 and he's exploring traffic generator. Yeah, so for that. And Gayatri started working on 2052. She's exploring IPOF tool for that. And I was working on the Jenkins test issue. And I have some in progress JIRAs. Currently, those are blocked the bugs. So I'm working with Matt also. So he needs some input for one of the bug which I raised. So that's it for JIRA status.
Okay, thank you. Which ticket is that? Jira ticket that you're working with, Matt? Is this the same issue or a different bug?
That is 2524, that MIP state issue.
Okay, so the initial MIP downloaded state, the same problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned that this story right here,
Yeah.
2052, I guess, right? This one? Is this the one
Yes. Yeah.
that is working?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anything else, Hema?
No, Sujit.
Okay. So regarding the patch sets that we were waiting for review from your Infosys team, are all of them being submitted now?
I have merged all the patches. I think only one is pending, which we need to move the test cases from functional test file to failure scenarios file. So other than that, I think everything is merged.
Okay, so did we merge everything else then?
Yes, yeah, done.
Okay, thank you. And even Suraj patches, because I don't remember all the patches, because I merged some of them, but there is one particular patch that requires for a test case change for the ONU adapter. Even that has been merged?
Yes, ONU adapter, yes. Error scenarios, I think I have merged, but ONU adapter, one Jira, it is blocked, right, currently.
Mm-hmm.
Suchitra, Suraj here.
Yes.
So yeah, that I have abandoned that one regarding that ONU adapter because we are waiting for that functionality to be implemented.
Right.
So yeah, so I have abandoned that, but the rest of the error scenarios they got merged. Yeah.
Okay, but we talked about the changes that are required on that test case sometime back.
Yeah. So we have already Jira for it, and the points are there in that.
Okay.
So once that functionality gets implemented, I will be approaching accordingly with the steps that are there. So the steps are already updated. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Hema, the one more quick question on the tickets. There are some in progress. There are some error scenarios. If these are new, then you can just leave them. But for all other patches that we merged, please close them accordingly.
Yeah. We have closed all the merged tickets, but this is the one which is pending with our IP check team. So it is in final approval. So we'll, I think tomorrow we'll get approval. We'll merge it tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Hema. Thanks a lot. Anything else from your side?
Nothing for JIRAs.
Sure. Thank you. So next, can we move on to anybody from Adran on the call? I know Torsten mentioned that he will not be able to join the call. Uwe or Gerald? All right. I know Uwe has taken up this particular task, and Torsten will be using the functionality for BBSIM to test with multiple OLTs. Since Theo is on the call, just a quick clarification from Theo. So do you think that it's worth to test multiple OLTs at this time, Theo? Or
well, I'm not sure, meaning that the G5 made the call a little while ago that we'll start with the assumption of 1 Voltha, 1 OLT. So that's why I didn't put any effort in setting up multiple BBC or even trying to run them.
okay.
So maybe we should bring this to the G5 attention and see what's their point on this.
All right. Yeah, this is one thing. Let me check. So when is the support actually going to be available? When is the official?
For multiple BBSIM? I don't know.
Okay.
So Torsten said that he managed to run multiple BBSIM. It's actually just one extra command because you need to just install a new BBSIM. So support is quote unquote there, is not integrated with kind Voltha, but it's one extra command. So if someone wants to try, it's definitely doable.
Okay. All right. So I can clarify this. So you are saying that talk to anyone from G5 or just send an email?
I will talk to any one of the G5 people, either Saurav, Zach, or David.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Theo.
Sure.
Any other tickets? Okay. Anything from Zach or Andy? Do you guys want to add to the status?
I don't think I really have anything to report.
I'm in the same case. I've been pulled into other things, so I haven't had as much chance to work on this the QA tickets that I've been assigned.
Okay, thank you. And I think, Andy, do you want to just talk about the logging thing that was implemented?
Sure, yeah, I can say a couple of words about this.
Yeah, so I can bring it up here.
So we've been working on how the Jenkins jobs collect the logs. And so if you see on Suchitra's screen,
I will bring up a master so it has many.
that each of the test suites generates its own log, and some of these logs are really huge. So I find it's easier to just download all of the logs as a zipped file and process them locally. But so each test suite generates its own log, and this log contains all of the container logs for all of the Voltha containers and Onos container, with the individual log messages interleaved chronologically. So you can take a look at the logs and see how events in one container trigger events in the other container and follow along the flow of what's happening. And each line you can see is tagged with the name of the container that generated that log. So that's one thing. The other thing is, as Suchitra is highlighting, we added to this log markers that show where particular tests are being started and stopped. And so if you want to see like a particular test is generating a failure, you can zoom down into the logs and look to see where that test started, and then hopefully it's easier to figure out where the failure actually occurred. Anything else, Suchitra, that we should mention here?
Yeah, I think that is all. And just a quick note, if we go here, so I hope, yeah, so the logs, combined logs have been generated like per stage base. So this is the first one, the functional scenario. So all the tests that are run in this particular stage are captured in this functional log, combined log, like Andy was saying. And then the next stage, likewise, each stage has its own log file here. So anybody wants to debug this particular failed scenarios based on the test case, they can go to that particular log and then debug the issues for the test cases.
For people who are contributing new tests, it would be nice if they would look at the templates of the current tests and see how to write those start test and end test messages into the logs, and copy that for new tests. It's really straightforward. There's just one statement you need to add.
Do you want me to bring that up quickly? Or
whatever you think. Probably not necessary, but I just wanted to mention.
Okay. Okay, anything else, Andy?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, so I made some changes to these jobs. So since we are in the Jenkins, I just wanted to update everyone that there are a combination of scenarios that we are executing on these nightly jobs. Now we have been running the nightly jobs on FlexPod and DemoPod. And as you can see on this page, we have the Flex and Demo, which are always running with the release and the release images and the tests accordingly. And for the Flex, for master, currently we are running with 2.2 ONOS release, and we have BAL 3.2 updated on all these pods. And for the ONF demo pod, like last night, we finished upgrading this ONF demo pod with ONOS release 1.13.10. And these are the results. So all these particular jobs here are running with 1.13.10, and all the master on Flex are running with ONOS 2.2 versions. So that was the work that I was working on this past week. Any questions? Okay. And Infosys and for the Infosys pod and the Berlin pod, please make sure that you have the BAL 3.2 OpenOLT package and start testing using that. And that requires a change in the profile, bandwidth profiles. There is a minimum requirement of the PIR, which is the 32 kilobyte, no, sorry, 32 Mbps, I guess. I can send the actual requirements for that, but there is an example on the FlexPod SADIS configuration for the bandwidth requirements for BAL 3.2 version. So please keep a note of that. Otherwise, test will fail. So I'm not sure if Infosys already got access to 3.2 versions, BAL 3.2.
Not yet, Sujitra. I have requested HCore guys to send the package. I have raised ticket for them.
Okay. Anything to add on here for the status updates? Okay, so moving on, pod issues. So we have been having some issues for the test job.
Yeah, Sujitra, that is fixed now. Thanks, Andy and Hung for helping me to get it fixed. I just triggered a test job and it's working fine now. But build job, it's getting timed out. I'm not sure why. So can you check it once?
Okay. It was not there before. This is something new, right?
Yeah, yesterday night it was successful, but I tried today afternoon and it was fine.
Okay, I can check on that. Any other concerns regarding your pod?
No, Sujitra, I need to get this BAL version and need to update it.
Sure. Okay, so Berlin pod looks like we still have some issues there. I'm not sure if anybody is there to update on the Berlin pod status here. Anyone on the call who can update on the Berlin pod?
So I know Andrea made some progress by creating the LXC containers to emulate the client. He texted me this morning that he was still having issues with the ARP packets not going back to the ONU. So authentication is passing, and the provisioning is fine. The device is getting an IP. It's just there are some issues in the ping that are not directly related to Voltha, but they are related to the setup.
Okay. So Andrea is looking at it.
He asked me to look at it, but I'm not sure I'll have time today.
Okay. Thanks, Theo.
Sure.
Okay, anything else before we move on? All right, next topic is about test executions. Just wanted to update everyone about the ONOS versions and the combinations of jobs that we have been running on the nightly pods. So we just talked about that some time back. Any questions on that? Okay. And then there was a request from David that he wanted to run all the existing tests, and it was a request from him that if it's possible that we run the existing tests on the Go version of OF agent. By default, it's Python. So is there a way that we could run Go version? Any suggestions or comments on this particular item? How important this is?
Well, I think that if the Go OF agent is more performant than the Python one, so I think if we can prove that it works, then we can move to it.
Okay. So are you saying that just by executing the test once, it's fine? Or is it like a way where we need to do it on a regular basis.
Oh, that I don't know.
Okay.
An option on kind Volta. So maybe the start would be to use do this on one of the BB-sim tests.
Okay. Yeah.
And just set it as a parameter.
Okay.
So Zach, you're suggesting, so we run like periodic BB-sim sanity test. We could just start by updating that job to use the OAuth agent Go version and make sure that works before we start rolling it out every place.
Right. Because yeah, I think it's just an option on kind Volta to which one you deploy, which OAuth agent you deploy.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I can look at that.
Okay, so I'll put your name, Andy, on this. Is that okay?
Yep, sounds good. I'll take that as an action item.
All right. All right. So regarding the execution of these periodically or once, I'll just clarify with someone or Saurav. Okay. And there are many tests that are currently being merged and they are not part of the Jenkins jobs yet. And we are not going to enable them yet this week for sure. That's the reason being that we are trying to validate the ONOS 11310 package and also trying to monitor the issue that we have raised for the MIB download errors on the ONU for this week. So until those issues have been fixed and validated even for 11310, then we are not going to enable new tests on the Jenkins jobs. So that's just an update to everyone. Any questions, concerns?
I have a question that is probably not directly related, but is there any plan to test the MIB templates at a certain point?
We haven't really thought about it. So what is it exactly about?
Well, that will be running the same set of tests that we have, just preloading in etcd the MIB template. I don't think it's urgent to do it, but maybe at a certain point it's worth it to add it to the test.
Okay.
But we can talk about this offline.
Okay, sure. So is the feature completely available now, or is just still in development?
No, it's available. I know Matt is still working on some enhancement, but the bulk of the feature is there. We are already testing it as part of the scale test.
Mm-hmm. So how does this work, Theo? Can you just clarify, please?
Oh, you just have to load the JSON blob into etcd in a particular location.
Mm.
That's the only difference.
Okay.
And then if the OpenONU adapter finds that template, it uses that instead of exchanging all the messages with the ONU.
Oh, okay. All right, maybe we can discuss with Saurav on this and then see how we can proceed.
Yeah. I don't think this is urgent. But just came up in my mind.
Okay, sure. We can add it and then validate it at some point of time, right? All right. Thank you. Okay, moving on. This is the next item is meetup in Berlin. This is the Volta face-to-face meeting. Just updating everyone that please look at Saurav's email again that was sent this week, early this week, and update the poll, update this doodle for your attendance, and please do it as soon as possible because based on the attendance, we are trying to plan the event. Okay, any other questions? Okay, the last item that we have on the agenda, this is Volta LibGo, Volta Protos. It's from Theo.
Yeah, so I reported it here, but we were discussing about this in the Volta stabilization call on Tuesday. So basically, since we are only, I think, 6 weeks away from the release, we decided not to accept any API change in the library. And the best way to do that, we felt, was to add a sanity test to the Volta LibGo, Volta Protos, and PyVolta repos. Because at the moment, those repos only run a unit test. In order to do that, we need to rebuild the container specifying the local lib and then deploy them and run the sanity test.
Okay, so who is doing this activity? Who's doing this particular? So it's you just brought it up to ask.
Yeah, I just brought it up to see if someone could pick it up.
Okay.
But I'm just the messenger in this case.
All right, all right. So does this require a new job?
Yeah, because these repo, these three repos at the moment are not triggering any sanity test job. And so what often happens is that merging those repo actually break things.
Okay. So on all these repos, we are not running the sanity test.
Correct.
Okay. So is that, Andy, can we enable that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
For these particular repos that are highlighted,
Yes.
there are no sanity tests that are being run. So can we run the sanity tests on this for any patch sets that are submitted to Git?
I think the challenge there is that these repositories are actually pulled into other containers and built. So we will need to extend the sanity test pipeline to figure out how to pull these containers, for instance, PyVolta, into the open ONU container and then build that with local PyVolta. So that is not something that's supported right now, but we can add it.
Yeah, I can help with that if you face issues. But basically, in all the main files, there is local Protos or a local PyVolta or local LibGo target that you can use to load a development version of the library in the container.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'll reach out to you then if I get stuck.
So Andy, can we write, I mean, I'm saying that, I'm just asking, do you think that enhancing the existing job, or do you think that for these particular repos, we just write a new verify job? Like verify API job as an example, and then just use the template that we have and enhance it.
I don't have any particular thoughts about that. I guess I was assuming that we could figure out how to put this in the existing job, but if it looks like it's going to be more than just a couple of lines of of code, then maybe you're right that we should create a new job. I think I'll have to look at it a little bit more.
Okay, maybe we can discuss it offline.
So to clarify how this is going to run, is the thought that when there's a change to like PyVolta or Volta libgo, we check out all the repos that use those, set the local PyVolta or local Volta libgo variables, build them all, push them all to the push them all into kind Volta, and then run the test. Is that the thought?
Yes, I think that's what I understood.
Okay. We did something like this with XOS a while ago, and the way that we did it was it checked based on major version. So if the major version matched, it would do the upgrade, and that sort of ensured that we aren't API breaking. I'm not sure whether that we want to take that into account here. Also, there may be changes needed in those. It may not be. I'm not exactly sure whether this should be an acceptance test. And the goal is to have this be an acceptance test on the Volta libgo and these other libraries. Correct?
Yeah, the goal is to be an acceptance test so that no one will change the API. Because in the last 3 weeks, basically every commit that went into those repo changed the API, and that was a pain for everyone that was trying to do anything with Volta.
Okay.
So there was a decision that any API change needs to be approved by the G5, and having a test that fails is the best red flag to require approval.
Right. Okay. Yeah, this sounds good. If people need help with this, I did part of that upgrade test on XOS. So if there are questions about how to make the job work, I can definitely review.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely put you as a reviewer as I start to make progress on this.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I'm adding Andy's Zach here and clarify with Theo. Does this sound okay?
Yep, looks good to me.
Okay, Theo, anything else? Any other concerns? All right, looks like no. Any other items that we want to discuss today? Okay, then we can close out the call. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your time. We'll talk again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.